Afternoon, guys. My name is Patrick Ledwaba. I'm an OHS facilitator, and today we are working in book Unit 7, Workplace Safety Management, and we are doing activity 1, like the revision sort like. We have a question here. Yeah, it's one of the challenging questions that you guys face. So, like, just wanna clarify it now. The question is as follows: explain the creation and promulgation in terms of the legal process. By so saying, they mean when was the act put into place. So there's a paragraph here. The act known as Occupational Health and Safety Act of 1993, Act 85 of 1993, consists of 50 sections promulgated by government. So here, when they say the creation or promulgation of legislation, it was done by government. And here's another paragraph. OHS Act 1993 of South Africa requires the employer to bring about and maintain as far as possible reasonable, practicable employment to bring about and maintain as far as reasonably practicable a work environment that is safe. Yeah, so like there's also a part where the employer, he is the one who must bring about a workplace which is safe for everyone who's working in the workplace. So the second question here says, explain the contravention of legislation in terms of the legal process. So like here, you have to explain why. What do they mean when explain the contravention? Contravention is it's when the government intervened, yes, in 1993, and they made up a constitution which is made out of 50 sections. Yes. Let me just read you this paragraph. Yeah. The Act known as Occupational Health and Safety 1993, Act 85 of 1993, consists of 50 sections promulgated by Parliament. So question number 3, explain the importance of complying with legislation in terms of its consequences to health and safety. The importance of complying, the importance of compliance, guys, is because of the legal process. There's a legal process that you have to follow. That's why you have to comply with all the rules that you have been given, because non-compliance can lead to all sorts of things in the workplace. You can get dismissed, you can get sued, you can even get jailed for non-compliance, because non-compliance is something that we always stress to our employees. We don't want non-compliance in the workplace, because once a person gets injured or anything, and if the thing is due to non-compliance, yes, you might not even get any form of compensation from your contractors, because whatever led to your injury or whatnot is because of non-compliance. So guys, it is very important to comply with any of the rules that you've been given by your employers or anywhere near your workplace. Question number 4. Here they say, explain the objectives of health and safety, environmental legislation in terms of workplace specific requirement. So this one, okay, explain the objectives of health and safety, okay, the objectives of health and safety. Here, the employer must provide and maintain all the equipment that is necessary to do work, and all the systems according to which work must be done in a condition that will not affect health and safety of the workers. And another one, before personal protective equipment may be used, the employer must first try to remove or reduce any dangers to health and safety in the workplace. So here, your employer must start by maintaining all the equipment that you guys use in the workplace, And then secondly, your employer must provide you guys with personal protective equipment, and your employer must also get into your workplace and identify and reduce all the risks inside of the workplace before any work can be done. So this is the end of our lesson, guys. I've explained this part and this part here. So until we meet again, let's meet in our next lesson, guys. Welcome back, guys. Now we are still on Unit 7, Workplace Safety Management. And now we are doing Activity 2. It's on page 29. So the question says, list down the role of the employer in enforcing health and safety requirements in the workplace. The rules of the employer in enforcing health and safety requirements in the workplace. So the pointers is a list. The list goes on and on. So like here, I've just written down a few pointers here. So one of the roles of the employer in enforcing health and safety requirements in the workplace is to, as far as possible, have any risk, as far as possible, to have any risk to your health and safety properly controlled. So this pointer says the role of the employer is to make sure that all the employees in the workplace all the employers in the workplace, the dangers and the risks are safely controlled. So what I want to say is the employer is the one who is going to put control measures in place to make sure that all of his employers are safe in the workplace and can do their job, knowing that they are free of dangers or risks in the workplace. So the second point, to provide free of charge any personal protective equipment. This one, we've been saying it for like weeks now. It's one of the roles of the employer. It's like a duty of the employer. It's his duty to provide free of charge personal protective equipment. Any personal protective equipment that is needed to do a particular job must be provided free of charge by the employer. So the third pointer, tell your employer about health and safety concerns you have. This one is also true. When in the workplace, you must tell your employer about any health and safety concerns that you have in the workplace. It's the duty of the employer to make sure that every employee in the workplace is safe, and it's the duty of the employer to make sure that he puts the correct control measures in place and eradicate all risks and hazards which may be present in a workplace. So the fourth pointer, have breaks during work day, have time off from work during work week, and to have annual paid holidays. This one, it's also a law which has also been put in place by government. It's in one of the sections, it's in one of the 50 sections that has been promulgated by government. So it's a right of the workers to have breaks during the workday, because a worker can't work out throughout the day without having a break. And it's also your right to have time off from work. Yes, it's a right of the worker to have time off from work, to get rid of all the fatigue in the body, make sure that your body is working fine, and to have annual paid holiday. It's also your right as an employee to have annual paid holiday. Moving on to question number 2, explain the ways of implementing the listed rules by the employer. So here, the implementing the listed rules by the employer. The rules of the employer, I have pointers here also. Here's the first point. the employer's role is to take care of health and safety in the workplace. Yes, because anything which concerns safety, health and safety in the workplace is a responsibility of our employer. And for our second pointer here, our employer must identify hazards and risks in the workplace. Yes, that's also a duty of the employer to identify risks and hazards in the workplace so that employees work in a safe working environment. And for the fourth pointer, employer must provide workers with personal protective equipment. This one we know. Enforce necessary control measures in the interest of health and safety. This for controlling necessary control measures in the interest of health and safety. It's eradicating anything that might be a risk to anyone who is in the workplace. So anything which is a risk to anyone in the workplace, we call upon our employer and show him whatever our concern is, and then it is a duty of our employer to make sure that our concerns are dealt with immediately. Guys, I've reached the end of this lesson. Hope you enjoyed. Until we meet next time.